Live 32 years longer? That number comes from a pioneering doctor who advocates common sense solutions. Some visionaries in the longevity space see life extension beyond 32 years, defying death, merging with robots, uploading our consciousness to the cloud. I personally have a hard time with that image, but I guess I'm motivated by the good news that there are things you can do to prolong your life. The bad news is, even though some of these measures are simple and safe, they're not necessarily easy. You know the drill: diet, quitting habits, exercise. Meh. So much more fun to think about futuristic nanobots or buying your way to long life with $20,000 clinic memberships complete with detailed monitoring and plasma infusions. In this video, we're looking at longevity science. What's hype? What's hope? Drawing from a recent New Yorker article and my key 7 lessons. Lesson 1. Longevity dreamers versus realists. Peter Diamandis, founder of the Fountain of Life Clinics and the X Prize Foundation, believes aging is just an engineering problem. He dreams of AI, robotics, and biotech. He says we will add decades to our lives. His $81 million X Prize competition dangles riches to the contestant with the best strategy to restore the body by 20 years. But scientists in the realistic camp, like Eric Verdin, CEO of the Buck Institute, warn biology isn't that simple. Aging involves dozens of pathways and puts it this way: fixing one can make another worse. So is Diamandis selling just a dream, or could it be real? He's making major bank selling this dream, but he insists he's just an optimist and willing to go for it. But lesson number 2 makes a different case. Lesson 2. Lifestyle still beats the lab. Dr. Michael Roizen of the Cleveland Clinic has studied longevity for decades. His conclusion: the basics, diet, exercise, sleep, and reducing stress, can add 32 years to your life. Supplements and high-tech biohacks, maybe 4. That's a staggering gap. The billionaires chase a cutting-edge science, but Roizen insists the real key is in our daily habits. Those biohackers with FOMO, or fear of missing out on a key trick for long life, guzzle supplements, use light therapy, and plasma infusions. But the lion's share of the results will still be in counting steps, calories, maybe sleep metrics, and HRV. But there must be something to the hype. If you have the money and time, right? What about those who are willing to spend millions, even gamble their health to push the limits? Lesson 3, the rise of the biohackers. Bryan Johnson, a wealthy tech founder, spends $250,000 a year on extreme biohacks, strict diets, electrical stimulation, even therapies most doctors wouldn't recommend. He calls his movement Don't Die, publishing his every biomarker online. Diamandis admits Johnson has drawn attention to longevity, but jokes, "I kind of wish he hadn't gone down the erection pathway." A quirk of Johnson is his recording and publishing of his nighttime erections. TMI for sure, and obviously very bro-based, which does reveal a reality of the biohackers. They're overwhelmingly male, just like most compulsive gamblers are male. Similarity there, maybe? But snark aside, Johnson's experiments raise a bigger question. How do we even measure aging in the first place? What is a meaningful way to assess aging? That's lesson 4. Lesson 4. Measuring aging is harder than it looks. Steve Horvath created epigenetic clocks to measure biological age through DNA methylation. They're powerful but limited. That's why the X Prize shifted from clocks to function: strength, memory, immunity. Can you walk faster, think sharper, fight infections like someone 20 years younger? Peter Attia, a longevity doctor, is all about physical strength, emphasizing it leads to longer life and even ward off dementia. He leads outrageously expensive retreats where attendants walk or hike with heavy backpacks. Just saying. Function matters, but function isn't everything. I mean, if the most natural interventions, diet and exercise, can be tricky, time is limited, and if you're ignoring family life because you're exercising all the time, or so extreme in your diet that you annoy everyone around you and can't enjoy eating, then some would question, are you really living anyway? And as for external interventions like procedures and supplements, there can be problems, because even when interventions work, they can backfire. That's lesson 5. Lesson 5, trade-offs everywhere. Rapamycin lowers inflammation but may raise cancer risk. Caloric restriction has some cellular benefits, but weakens muscles and libido. And as for supplements, Nir Barzilai puts it bluntly, if you're under 50 and taking the metformin, that's an idiotic decision. Why? No evidence and real harms. Almost nothing in biology is purely good or purely bad, and yet people keep chasing the next pill or device. Why? Well, some are used to being able to buy their way to answers in more time. They have money and expect that it will give them an edge. Money, money, money. Lesson 6, the money gap. Elite longevity clinics like Fountain Life charge $21,500 a year just for membership, plus thousands more for scans, supplements, and therapies. As one startup CEO admitted, we don't work with mice, we work with billionaires. As one doctor says, these elites sacrifice their health to make their wealth, and now they're using their wealth to restore their health. So perhaps the rest of us will let them experiment with themselves, and we can wait to see how that pans out. After all, Bryan Johnson ended up jettisoning rapamycin from his regimen since it was aging him. So there you go. Which brings us to lesson 7, separating hype from hope. Hope, but be skeptical. There is progress. The controversial David Sinclair calls this moment pivotal. Our Wright brothers' flight moment for longevity. There are real futurists like Ray Kurzweil, who believes AI will merge with our biology and defeat death altogether. In the end, experts split into camps. Pragmatists like Roizen and Attia, who believe lifestyle is the best investment. Visionaries like Diamandis and Kurzweil, who dream of radical life extension, even uploading our brains and defying death. My own interest in this topic is decades old, since longevity treatment is a pillar of traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture practice. And I hate the role of being an annoying critic sneering from the sidelines at the longevity scientists. But I see my role as a science translator, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm also older, and I've been in medicine a long time, and I end up seeing the downsides of too many unproven medical interventions. The ancients taught balance and a type of hormesis, which now has the backing of science. I wrote a book about it. And I do believe that with consistency in the small things, you can achieve results and sometimes even radical change, because we are ruled by nonlinear complexity mechanisms allowing for quantum leaps, since we're a part of nature. But I'm not a purist. I take supplements that have been tested and even Chinese herbal formulas for longevity. So my advice, let the people with money to burn and a willingness to face the side effects of treatments for an extra 4 years of life, let them go first. Stick to the basics and small and big things, the hormesis of exercise and moderate diet, sleep, and stress reduction. Let the big boys do their extreme biohacking. Thanks for watching, dear viewers. If you found this helpful, hit the like, subscribe, and share in the comments. Would you sign up for 20 extra years, even if it was risky?